What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another. It's been a long time. Echo Chamber. 2026 is well upon us already, and we are officially up and running. Of course, you know my main man, the ops manager himself, the guru behind the movie Magic You See, Mr. Calibus Rand is running things as you see it, and we've got Billy Middlestat from Tidewater Conventions with us tonight, guys. And Billy is the owner and operator there at Tidewater Conventions. You know him from Tidewater Comic Con. You know him from stuff down in Maryland Pop and Horror Con, as well as the new one that's coming in March, Blood in the Water. So, Billy, introduce yourself and tell us what is up with you tonight, sir.
My name is Billy Middlestad. I'm the owner or CEO, co-owner, the CEO of Tidewater Conventions Incorporated. Uh, Quick reference: Tidewater Comic Con's not me. That's Mike.
Sorry,
Good
Tidewater
friends,
Convention.
yeah, but good friend of mine. We were actually talking earlier today. Um, but yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me on your broadcast, and let's talk about all things spooky or pop culture or Star Wars, whatever you guys want to dive into.
Yeah, man. So really we want to dive into more talking about Blood in the Water. And I meant to say Tidewater Horror Con. I don't know why I said the other one.
Everybody does it, brother. Everybody does it because Mike has been around forever. But we're anybody from this area that's now called Hampton Roads. It was all called Tidewater at one time.
Right, right. So we want to talk more about, last year's Tidewater Horror Con, kind of, the uptick of it, and then, the new Blood in the Water, what you're bringing, which is something kind of in between what you normally do between Tidewater Horror Con and Maryland Poppin' Horror Con. So how did you come up with Blood in the Water? Like what was the concept to come around that?
So, for many of you that might not know that are listening, we also own Georgia Pop Culture and Horror Con in Columbus, Georgia. But after 11-hour trips, 4 or 5 days out of town, it just became challenging, not because of the fans, not because of the venue, just mostly because of flights and inconveniences with that, because it's a smaller airport. We've decided to open up a second show closer to home because we live here in the Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Hampton Roads, Tidewater area. We've talked about doing a halfway to Halloween for some time now, for the last 2 years, Brian and myself. Um, and we figure that now that there is no more Nightmare, Richmond, there is no more other competing cons in our local areas, that the community would need something else to keep them busy between now and September. So it's a smaller, scaled down version of what we do for our Tidewater horror, um, but we're leaning towards more classic horror, um, like old school stuff that you would normally see. Fans like Butch Patcher, from the Monsters, things of that nature is kind of where we're going to direct this show. And it's a 2 day show versus a 3 day show for our Tidewater show. And it appeals to both fans, but it also for vendors mostly. For those, Big L, you and both of you guys have done our shows as vendors and as guests as well.
Right.
Promote. It's hard to get in our show, and it's only going to get harder now that all these other cons that was located in the state are gone. Um, so we can't accommodate the influx for Tidewater. So we're hopefully to build up Blood in the Water, where vendors have a choice to at least get a good venue. They get a good value for tickets, and people will have that can't get into Tidewater can get into Blood. That's our thought process. Um, so yeah, that was part of the reasoning why we opened up a newer one. Basically halfway to Halloween kind of deal. A little bit earlier than halfway to Halloween, but not too far.
No, I got you. And that's fantastic. You guys, took a look at a need and brought something out. Because I'll be honest with you, like you said, I myself, I've been on the fan group side as a guest with you guys, just by happenstance, by knowing the right people is the best way I'll put that. And then being a vendor, and I will tell you, I obviously like being a vendor more because I get to interact with people that I didn't always get to see because I was at the table doing stuff and didn't get to walk around much. And now I can see everyone inside the vendor room, and I get to see the potential of doing things the right way. But that being said, man, I am thrilled to announce that we as Geek Fandoms will be at Blood and Water with you guys, and we're going to have a fantastic time. We've got a great lineup of merch that is going to be not just horror themed, but also pop culture themed. That is something that we want to strive to do the best we can on both sides of it. Now I know Calibus is chomping at the bit to plug out the things that Geek Phantoms is going to be bringing as far as some pop culture stuff. So, Calibus, give us a little bit of a brief preview of things that they may want to see when they pop into Blood and Water.
Oh, well, I mean, before we get to that, let me say this. I was not a big horror fan. THC turned me into where I wanted to be there at those conventions. Um, Billy, the staff, your staff, I mean, just it blew me away the way you guys took care of not just your vendors and your celebrity hosts, but the fan tables. Usually the fan tables get kind of slighted at most of these bigger conventions and even at some of the smaller ones, but you guys took care of us. Um, the atmosphere was just great. All the vendors, we all talked and got along, and you know what I mean. It was just a great thing. So, Blood in the Water, when that came around, I wasn't sure I was going to go. As a matter of fact, I told Elle, I was like, I don't know, it's down there by the scope. I really hate going down that area. And then I was like, I saw you guys at MarsCon, and I was like, man, now I want to go again because it was kind of like we were all kind of getting back together. You know what I mean? So, um, here at the portal, all we do is really promote. And what we're going to do, because we're going to be there, is interview people, post it out, go live from the event. Because I'm telling you guys, even I am not a horror fan. I do love my horror movies, but I am not a fan. You would never really catch me at something like this. But it was the atmosphere, the detail to some of the patrons that came in cosplayed up, which was amazing. The celebrities that you guys had, when they were walking by, they were like, "Hey, how you doing?" Da-da-da-da, talking. We were in the bar. Side note, and they were talking to us like regular people. It was amazing. It was just an amazing time. So I'm expecting this one to be just as much as THC. We're going to start promoting it every day from Yester Toys. I've already talked to Jim about it, and he was like, "Man, you do your thing." So every morning I give the rundown through the store, and I'll be dropping Blood and Water. So the the great part of this whole thing is I too, from Yester Toys, I got to be a vendor at an event. That was my first time being a solo act. You know what I mean? And it was scary. It was nice. It was great. I met so many other vendors that were very nice. They, you know what I mean? The setup was great. Uh, I can't say enough about it because, like I said, for me, as a first time guy going there trying to set everything up, luckily, I did have Big L there. It was great to have that support, and then we just went through it. But again, one of my favorite things was, the people that were coming through their cosplay, seeing them, talking with them. It was one of the better things that I had ever experienced at a con. And that's what you're bringing here. And now you opened up a second venue saying, hey, if you can't make it to this one, come here. So I encourage anybody who's ever thought about trying to be a vendor, anybody who's ever wanted to try something like this or go to it. There was a couple people in our shops. A few of them work at Busch Gardens. They do the what is that?
Air actors.
Yeah, the scare actors. So I was telling them, I'm like, hey, you guys going down to Blood and Water? And they're like, what? I'm like, Blood and Water, Norfolk. They're like, oh yeah, yeah. I said, look, I got a show tonight. Check it out. I said, the guy that runs it will be on. So hopefully we can get more people out there to hear about this, because I was kind of shocked that they didn't. But we're going, like I said, we're going to push it. Um, Vendor wise stuff, dude. I mean, from the mugs and the t-shirts, any t-shirt that you want, L's going to have it. Anything that you want on there, bring a picture. We can find it. We can do it. It's going to be there. Mugs. Uh, you know, there might be some horror stuff that I can get from Yester Toys to put in there, but again, it's the experience that I'm telling everybody to go for. The vending side of it is great. Especially when you can get a custom made T-shirt or one of the mugs, because I got one of his tumblers. I use it every day at work. It's perfect. The T-shirts are nice, breathable. Come check it out. Put some stuff on there. I look forward to the con shirts now, though, Billy. And that hoodie, my, my THC hoodie. I wore that. I'm wearing that thing out. So I'm looking forward to grabbing me a blood in the water shirt. So um, again, the experience, guys, you will not be sorry. That's what I can tell you. And I am not a horror fan. I am not really that heavy into it, but I am telling you, my boy Marky Mark, this is him right there. He and I will again be walking around, interviewing people, taking pictures with people, posting it up on all the platforms. Um, just so you guys can get a taste of what it is like, because you will not be sorry.
No, I agree. You won't be sorry. So, Billy, give us a rundown of some of the celebrities that I know you've already announced them on the site, but can you give us a quick rundown of some that you know off the top of your head that are definitely going to be there?
Well, all five are confirmed, and we do get a little pushback. Well, bring this one, bring that one. Uh, just to give a little logistics on the background of that, celebrities are not free. They don't just drive and start signing stuff. Uh, it has to be budgeted, and so we started off with a smaller scale, but we have some kind of rarities that are hard in the industry to find. So, a quick fact: there's only five living members of the original 50th 51st anniversary of Jaws, and Jeffrey Voorhees, which plays Alex Kittner, the little boy that got bit by the shark on at the beach, and his mom said, "Oh, your hands are pruning." He's one of the five that's actually credited. Uh,
Nice.
so he will be there. We have Gigi Vorg, uh, Billy Von Zant, which, yes, if you Google it, that is his brother. That is Silvio from The Sopranos, the famous guitarist from Bruce Springsteen. He'll be in
Nice.
attendance. And it took me to do a little research to put two and two together, but he will be there. And so anybody that's seen Jaws 2, remember they had the sailboat kids. So we have three of them from the sailboats that were pretty prominent throughout the whole movie. They were the stars of that movie, besides the Bruce, the shark. And then a good friend of ours, Tony Moran, will be there, which is the actual original face of Michael Myers that was at the top of the steps when Jamie Lee was getting choked at before the closet scene. Uh, he's one of the three that played the original. But he's always been known as the face of Michael Myers. He will be in attendance as well. He always gets a good group of people out there, and because it's called Blood in the Water, we went with the Jaws theme this year. So we thought it was something a little bit different, and we just had the 50th anniversary, so I think they bring a good base. Couple things I just wanted to touch base on. Calibus mentioned we pride ourselves on our environment for fans, vendors, uh, hotel staff. It is definitely approached as a family atmosphere. We want everybody to enjoy themselves. We want everybody to feel comfortable coming out and enjoying themselves. Um, I never spoke about it on this show, but in past interviews, one of the main things that I've gone to shows. I pay $75 on a Friday night to get into a show. Not everybody can afford that, and vendor tables are $1,000. I mean, and that, I'm not exaggerating. Uh,
No, you're not.
and and there's no promises that you make anything. But the difference, what we try to separate ourselves, and the reason why Brian and myself got into this business, A, there's a need, but B is I'm a fan. I was a vendor. I've been down that road and I know what it entails. So I there's a lot of risk for you guys as vendors and as attendees, and we appreciate that and we take that seriously. So we do, like you mentioned, our vendors are tight knit with each other. I mean, they all know each other. They all hang out at the bar. They're all doing karaoke, and we will have karaoke at Blood in the Water. Um, they will be there. We're just not doing like we're still doing our after parties. There will still be adult and children activities available. Um, Meaning like the children's corner, and there will be the board games we'll bring out and have a room for that. We're just not doing panels for this event at this location to be more focused on vendors and celebrities. Uh, and then where Tidewater, you have all that. It's a lot more programming that goes into it. That's why we have to charge a little bit different. But nobody, it's like Tidewater, for instance. I know we're talking about Blood in the Beach, but I think Blood in the Water is $30 for 2 days. And I say I apologize now because I don't keep up with all the pricing that I even put down because I run multiple shows. But I think it's $30 for a weekend pass. You can't go to most shows for that for a day. Um, and to have celebrities. The same thing with like Tidewater's 50 for 3 days. You can't go to a horror convention anywhere on the East Coast that I know of for under $50 for a day, including Friday nights. They're $45 plus tax, and there's no guarantee that you're going to see everybody. Um, but yeah, we definitely try to make it a fun environment for everybody, no matter what show or Maryland or um, we're working on another show right now that we're not ready to announce or anything, but it might take place on a college. It's not local to Hampton Roads, but other colleges and stuff are starting to see what we're doing and want us to expand and try to do something in their forums. So that's something that we will hopefully be working on over the next month and have some details to add something else for a different fan that doesn't have, so they won't have to travel as far.
I can't wait to hear what's next
Um,
on the
but
horizon.
yeah, man, it's all about having fun and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, man, and
Sorry,
and
I
I
didn't
want
cut
to
you.
just reiterate. No, you're fine. I want to reiterate, the fact that we have a fantastic time when we are there. Um, Especially some of the after hour stuff. It gets to be quite fun. I love Brian to death. Brian will drag you around if you let him, and you get to have a blast. So do not sleep on hanging out with Brian. Brian will have a great time with you, and Matt Richards as well. Matt is a phenomenal one of your staff who comes around and checks on everyone. I'd like to shout him out as well as thank him for his service. I know he's in the Navy. I know a lot of your staff is military, and they come and help out on the weekend. But Matt Richards definitely is one that is. I can tell you, man. Even my wife, every time he comes by, he's always very cordial and very respectful. And Always check to make sure you need water, you do anything. And that to me is what changed the mindset of what, I wanted to be as a person. And, even, doing vending stuff, I want people to know that, hey, we're here to, help out. When we do our vending stuff, we don't gouge people in prices like you don't gouge people in prices on getting in. I'll give you an example. We were at one over this past weekend. It was not cheap to get in. The table fee was not cheap, and we had to pay to park every single day. We did not make our table fee back. We weren't guaranteed to make a table fee, and we didn't. It was a horror themed one, and everyone was quite disappointed in the attendance because it wasn't put out there properly. So what did I do on the middle of day two or day one and all of day two? I shouted out blood in the water, and I was handing out flyers and stuff and telling people, hey, you want to go to a show that I know you're going to have fun at and you're going to do stuff? Here's one you want to check out. Check out Tidewater Convention. I said, Billy is a great person. If he has space for you, check it out. It's there. I was down in South Carolina shouting out Tidewater Conventions all the way down there because
I
I
appreciate
believe,
that.
yeah, man, I believe in your company. I do. I believe in your mission. I believe in what you try to do because, like you said, $50 or $30 is not something you see. I mean, for one day, and I won't name where we were at because I'm not going to throw anybody on the bus. But for one day, it was $45 plus parking to get in, and it was $10 parking.
Yeah, I think
And
you actually bring up a kind of a point that I've talked to some other promoters that I know nationwide. Sometimes people see the value of our tickets where we're charging 15 bucks and think it's not worth their money. No, it's 15 bucks because we know how hard you work for your money. It's $15 because we kind of believe in the Walmart philosophy. I'd rather have more people through the door than trying to charge $40 and get four people through the door, if that makes sense. I just rather have more people coming through. That way, they still have money in their pocket. They can buy a drink, they can buy a meal, and we negotiate deals for you guys for hotel rooms. We don't keep any, contrary to what a lot of people believe, like, oh, there's a lot of back end deals for us. No, we negotiate deals for you, vendors, for attendees. Like attendee rooms are like $110, with taxes and everything, and vendor rooms are like $100. But that's what I pay. That's what I pay to have celebrities stay the same night, is what the vendor rooms cost. And I pass those savings on to you guys. So that way you guys can limit your expenses, and um, you're not taking as much of a risk because you can't, it's hard. I'm trying to word it correctly. Loyalty is not always free. So, I don't, when I open new shows and I get 40, 50, 60 new vendors, I mean, excuse me, not new vendors, returning vendors that like Billy, we love you, like Big L and you guys, like, oh no, we're with you. Sign me up. That makes my life so much easier. Because I know you, you know me, we know how things work. I can't guarantee anything, but I have an unwritten, me, Brian, our whole company has an unwritten rule with all the vendors. I charge less too than what the going market
yes,
is, but I don't make money if nobody comes through the door. One thing that we do differently, and Brian yells at me about, but we actually pay all the celebrity costs is not in your budget when we do the vendors. So, just example, it cost me 10 grand for a place. I'm making up numbers, so don't hold me liable for any of this. 10 grand.
right.
We divide the space, we divide the 10 grand. Now, when I bring in five, six, seven, eight, 10 celebrities, it's another 10 grand. That's what me and Brian put up. So we're partners with you guys in a way. Because if you, I don't bring that, puts my ass on the line to make sure I get them through the door. Because if I don't get them through the door, I can't get my 10 grand back plus. So I already start in the hole before we start, and a lot of companies don't do that. But I know that um, it works out better because I don't have to stress about trying to find 50 new vendors every time we want to keep expanding. because we are still expanding. We're still looking at other markets. North Carolina is definitely on our vision. Um, Not South Carolina as much as we were looking at it at one point, just because now you got Spooky down there, you got another one down there. They're all going. I just see it's going to be a headache in the next 2 to 3 years before they start stepping on each other's toes. So,
Well, you spoke of one of them that I was at, and I would say they need to get their head out of their ass and figure things out and do it the right way.
well, Big L, you've
Is
been
all
doing
I'll
these
say.
shows. You've been doing these now as a vendor, and Calibus. You guys been at other locations. How many times do you meet the owners or the promoters or the people behind it?
Oh, never,
Yeah, like and
never.
how
Yeah.
often do you see me and Brian within an hour?
Oh, all the
Oh my
time.
God. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like no,
Yeah.
this is our family business, and you are our customers. You're going to be treated with respect, and now there is a line, and everybody knows the line. Like, don't like I think I talked about it with you guys at MarsCon. The worst thing to get underneath my skin is when a vendor
Right.
bitches about money when they're on the phone playing and they're not interacting. Somebody's trying to hand them money. Like, don't come at me about that, bro. That's not my fault. There's 4,000 people here. What do you want me to do?
Yep.
And there's shows that, you go to my Maryland show and had the best show you ever had, and you've done Tidewater 2 years and you break even. You never can tell what the market's going to do. I mean, but if you engage, Big L, you teach people how to sell things in your previous job. Like,
Yep.
get from behind your table, engage your customer, don't make it an inconvenience. That would be my suggestion to, like, especially new vendors and people you know kind of berate us sometimes when they don't know what they're doing. And it's the most important thing is networking. When you do your first 2 to 5 shows, and I'm not including you, Big L, I'm just mean in general, that you got to get out there and network, talk to people and find out, because you don't know. Like, Big L presses shirts, but there's somebody else that does that style of thing, but not exactly the same thing. But that guy might have a better deal on t-shirts, and y'all become friends when you're not really hurting each other, because
Exactly.
you know we can do more working together than trying to fight each other. And that's kind of what, like, I work with the 757 card shows. I work with, I mentioned Mike earlier. I will be at Hampton Comic Con next Saturday. And I will be at AuthorCon the following weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Williamsburg, promoting the shows, and getting everything together for it. So we're amping up on this marketing tour. Um, but yeah, man, we give a shit. Sorry for the language if that's not
No, no,
allowed, but
no.
yeah,
That's
No.
why we do
No,
these after
you're
nine
fine.
o'clock, so you
Yeah.
can be yourself.
yeah, we
You're
give
fine.
a shit, man. I mean, and I'm not trying to convince you guys. You guys know because you work with us, but a lot of people don't realize, like, we don't put our faces on everything. We don't market. You don't even know I'm the owner or Brian's an owner unless it's brought up. You know what I mean? We don't try to pass ourselves. Like, my daughters run registration, because eventually they're going to take everything over. They're going to run all this at some point. We're still growing it. We're still 6 years sounds like a long time, but we're still in our infancy, because 6 times 3, you know what I mean? For 3 days, it's still not a long time to really market yourself. You got to work all 365 for 3 days. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't realize there's a lot that goes behind the scenes into that to make sure it's successful for you guys and ourselves. And we want to keep expanding and keep growing, because we are having these relationships with these vendors, and and they, as soon as I announced Maryland, I had um, not to slide off blood or the water, guys, or change topics or anything, but just for a lot of, I haven't publicly announced this. It's not on my Facebook or anything. My dad passed just recently, and Brian's brother just passed the day of the funeral. So me and him got hit with a double whammy, and my dad got sick during Maryland Pop and Hard Con. I think, Big L, you were signed up for that.
We were,
Yeah, and my
and
dad.
but I knew there was something going on, so we just
So
moved things around and said, "Don't worry about it."
Yep, yes, sir. So just to let everybody know, June 13th, we moved everything to June 13th because my dad had a stroke. You guys know it's a family business. Um, I didn't want to leave my stepmom down here by herself if something went south. Because my sister's there, my daughters are there. We're all be in Baltimore, so it ain't like we can just leave in the middle of a show. Um, so that's why we rescheduled that. But now we're all focused. We're all trying to get this going, and I'm pulling my hair out, getting Tidewater guests and negotiating contracts for that. So we still got more announcements coming for that as well. Um, but no, man, I think blood's going to be a cool thing. I think it's going to be um, fun. It's going to be fun, and so for those that don't know, and Calibus, you mentioned about you just hate downtown. Free parking, brother. No, there's no charge on parking. There's over 400 or 500 spots easy. Plus, this parking on the side street before the scope is all free. So we don't usually have an issue with any of that at that location. There was some previous issues with the AC in one room for 2 years, is why we left to go to Holiday Inn. Um, but all those have been rectified, and the hotel. I don't know if I publicly can tell you, but who gives a shit? They're about to do about $10 million in renovations. So it's kind of like when we were at the Holiday the first year, and then they transitioned to the to the new stuff. So they're working on it's none of that's going to be happening during Blood of the Water or Tidewater Horror Convention. You won't see any of that, but they are working on upgrading, you know, piece by piece. And they're going to work around our schedules because we're contracted for the next 2 years. So um, we're not going nowhere.
And I was just getting ready to say that. For those of you guys that are watching and listening, Tidewater Conventions, Blood in the Water, Tidewater Horror Con, they're not going anywhere, guys. This is not a fly by night, convention that you'll see one or two times or whatever, and then it goes away. 6 years plus running and still going strong. And as Billy mentioned, when you have returning vendors, as myself or fan groups that return and want to help out and do things, that is a testament to them as owners. That's how they treat people, and that's why Calibus and myself work really hard to promote what we do with them, because of the simple fact we believe in them, we believe in their mission, and they believe in us. It is a partnership. Like Billy said, I used to teach people how to sell back in the day. That was my whole job, is teach people how to sell stuff. Um, I did it for 28 years, and I just got to the point where my wife said, "Well, if you can sell stuff to customers, then you can sell stuff to customers and actually make some money for yourself," which is why I started doing my own thing. But I don't gouge my prices because I want people to come back and say, "Hey, you did something for me at the last show. Can you do something else?" I could charge $35, $40 a shirt. I really could, because they're custom done right then and there. Why you looking at me? However, I want people to come back. I want them to see that it's quality work. It's something that they can pay $25. They can choose up to a 4XL. And Billy, you know this. If you go to any convention anywhere, where do you see most vendors having a 4XL shirt? It's
There's not a
hardly
whole
there.
lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
people don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people have big size shirts. So I go up to a 4XL in sizes. I would do a 5, but it's a little hard to find those in a sublimation style. But I want people to know that we don't stop at the 2X. We go higher, um, and that's what we're about. We're about taking care of the customers and making sure people are happy with the products. Like I said, Calibus uses his tumbler every single day. Every time I talk to him and I'm getting on video call, he's drinking out of that tumbler. I'm gonna have to make him new ones. I think he's gonna wear that damn thing out. Um,
I mean, it's a great
but
product, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's harder, because I started my stuff off like you guys. I do the t-shirts and stuff like that, but and I can't. I'll just be honest. Hit me up for a t-shirt, you're looking at $32 to $38, and that's being shipped to you. So you're waiting to get one of my shirts. So you know what I mean? It's a great deal, especially again, it's the atmosphere. When you're in this convention, you are wowed by not just the guests and the staff, but the people that come there and these cosplays that just blow me away. Um, so I'm very interested in seeing what's going down there. And now you just told me there was free parking. Come on, you know what I mean? That's where where are you going to go? Where you're going to spend that type of money to get in a place you can't even go to the movies for less than $60, $70. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I
You
mean, it's
can't go to Busch
crazy.
Gardens for under 55, and you still got to pay 25 to park.
Not to mention to eat. You're talking $8, $9 for a cup of Coke. So
Yeah.
yeah, come
And
on
that's
now.
one and that's one of the things we actually do too is we negotiate the food pricing for you guys. Like we don't have any control what they want to charge at their bar and their food and their restaurants, but we work with them closely to try to get not $15 hamburgers like you would pay at a convention center. You know what I mean? And it's not that great, where it's at least $6 or $7. It's still expensive compared to it, but at the same time, they're not charging you 10, 11, 12, $14. You know what I mean? And the same thing for, adult beverages. They do drink specials, that we try to work with them um, to pass those savings on to you guys. You know what I mean? Because again, I always do the $100 mentality. All right, I'm gonna pay $20 to get in. All right, I might get an autograph. That's another $40. It's $60. I got another 40, maybe $50. I know that's over $100, but the average person can take $100 and have a very amazing experience. Now, if you got 5 and 6 autographs you need, that's totally different. Um, but at least we publicize that so you can plan for that. We give you a menu like, oh, here's the menu that's coming up. So, hey, plan on spending $15, $20 on food. Here's the alcoholic specials if that's your thing. Oh, there's $3 fireball shots. Well, I can do 4 of those or whatever. And I'm not promoting any drinking and driving, so we're clear. And yeah, but apps, and we try to. That's one of the reasons why we try to get guests or vendors or even their local stay at the hotel. There's so many after parties, so many things going on throughout the whole night that one of the vendors, years back, I think me and him saw the sunrise and went right to work. And that didn't sound right the way I explained that, but we were in the lobby having an adult conversation, and I think me and him was like got it maybe hit the bed about an hour, and then we saw each other the next morning at the venue. James is a good friend of mine from Big Time Toys, and shit, man, that was like 5 years ago. Like, but yeah, now we're getting older. We can't do that shit anymore.
And that's
But
one
we
of the
love
things that I
No,
miss.
no, I don't think
You know
nobody
that
can handle it.
it.
that hanging out like that, with the guys and drinking. I mean, because I mean at THC you had some good, you had some good prices on some drinks. 'Cause I remember we stayed in there for a good little bit, and I didn't want to leave, as I recall. So it's just the atmosphere,
Hey, maybe
though,
we
man.
can
Where
get
did you go?
hey Calibus.
Hmm?
Maybe we can get the guy with the shark to come back that was in the uh that was there and fell down and still didn't spill his drink and still had the shark in there. Maybe
Did
we can get
not
him to come to Blood
spill
and
his
Water.
drink. This dude got up, stumbled, fell, but held on to that drink, and we were all sitting there like, "Well, damn, that's talent."
Is this the guy that has black hair and glasses?
Yes.
Yes.
He is at every single show sloshed, like sloshed. He was at MarsCon
Yes, he was.
Damn, I
sloshed.
missed seeing him.
I saw him at MarsCon.
Yeah.
I think he's just a local
Yep.
that just loves the conventions and that's his family. And again, that's for a lot of us is other vendors. I mean, excuse me, other attendees and that love our show and they refer to it as their con family and we don't take that lightly. You know, It's very important that we all get along. Like I said, no politics, no religion. We don't do that. You know what I mean? If you
No,
want to talk
yeah.
about
Nope.
that on it, go outside. Like I'm not, you got a right to think how you want to think, but that only causes more divide. And we're here for horror and just con life, having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want people to enjoy themselves. I don't want you to be stressed out. I mean, shit. Other shows, how you get some people are introverted. They'll go sit in the corner and play on their phone to try to, digest just people, And me and
Yep.
Brian go
Yep.
up to them and talk to them, like, hey, how you doing? Are you enjoying yourself? Are you having fun? You know, because we understand how hard people work. We understand, you know, things are not cheap anymore. We understand that, Um, and I think I've talked about this on previous, podcasts, but I've literally went up like I think $5 in my ticket prices and maybe $20, $25 in my table prices, and booth prices, which is still way below the market value. Like I mean, I try to make it where it's affordable where people are not getting hurt. You know what I mean? And if you get hurt, you're not getting hurt bad, because nobody can guarantee anything. But but I don't know anybody that got hurt other than the people that weren't at their table and complaining about everything. And I can't do anything to make those people happy, and the
Well,
attendees are, my daughters do a bang up job of asking people how they found out about us, um, and the marketing, trying to get. Um, so one thing we'll share with you guys, and now this won't apply to this show, but looking back at Tidewater, we have a 92% return ratio for a military transit town. That's amazing numbers for 5 years.
yes, it is.
It
You
is.
know,
Yeah.
our issue that we've had that we're trying to broaden, like Calibus said, like, I would have never thought of HorrorCon, and we're trying to get other people to understand that, like, just come hang out. You don't have to buy anything. I mean, you got to buy a ticket, but, you know, and so everybody understands there's ticket. And the reason why I was going over numbers, so people don't think, oh, yeah, me and Brian just making $1 million and we're just, we work 9 to 5s too, um, we're average people just like everybody else, blue collar guys, um, but we have to recoup it somehow. There's nobody that can run a celebrity driven celebrity vendor show or a vendor show or con that has celebrities and have free admission. There's just no way unless because
No.
the vendor's gonna your table went from 175 to 400 now. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
you have to make up and pay for that somewhere, and that's just like everything in life. Oh yeah, this is going to get cheaper, but now you're paying more in tax on this or something. And I'm not being political, just making an analogy.
A
Yeah.
reference. Yeah.
So it definitely look at this and oh yeah, this sounds really good, but now you're paying an extra $5 on the back end that you didn't realize you're paying. You know, so but
Yeah.
no,
No, we
it's like
get
you
it.
said. The cosplay is amazing too, Calibus. I agree with you 100%. Did you see the fucking Grim Reaper last year,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
dude? It was fucking amazing. He got in the door. That guy was like 8 foot tall or some shit. I don't even know how tall. He was tall, but that was amazing. And he had the voice thing too. That was really cool.
I'm telling you, the passion that your fans have. You got there's always the two guys that come in and they stay in character and all they do is lap the con. In character, either they're dragging a chainsaw or a baseball bat looking like, whoever they're supposed to be or a demon or whatever else, and they're just walking. Not to mention those nurses with the warped face
Yes.
and the girls be, and they're walking around, twitching and moving. And I'm amazed. I am truly amazed at because normally for us it's always Star Wars, a little bit of Star Trek, and then a ton of anime stuff. But to see the horror side of cosplay is refreshing, and the passion that they have for these things, their cosplays is amazing.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
just
agree
amazing.
110%. Their cosplays, the detail, the hard work that they put into it is amazing. And you know, and we've been lucky over all our shows where that's been a very good turnout. Last year was a little bit slower, but I think we were thinking dealing with a lot of stuff going on in the world at the time of the show, you know. Um, and again, I don't want to touch politics, but you know, the shooting thing that I think that affected some stuff, and um, just the environment, the climate in the world, you know. And
Was
again, I'm
changing.
not.
Yeah, it was
It was
changing, Billy. You're right. It
again,
was just changing, and
no
it
matter what
sucked.
side you're on, I think we all agree that you know shit was getting really fucked up really quick. And you
Yep.
know, I had vendors that you know I was concerned that I didn't want vendors hurt. You know, like, hey, how's everybody doing? And to come to find out, everybody's had a good fucking show, and they're calling me 2 weeks later from shows that are 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 people compared to our show, you know, is 4 to 6, you know, depending, you know, what year it is and who's in town as far as the military. So, because one, you guys know, one ship can completely change the whole landscape of Hampton Roads if you got a you know fighter group out or, uh, so
Yeah.
uh, I've got calls from vendors like Billy, calm the fuck down. Your show is good, man. It's the beginning. That was the beginning towards the slow part of the for vendors tours last year. You know that they said it was dead at other shows, and so the climate has definitely changed for cons. There's a lot of cons that are closed, um, and again, you can't put a price tag on those cosplayers, these interactive vendors. Um, and, and a lot of it's that old school feel. You got a lot of new age too, but it's just treating people with respect and having a good time and knowing you know time and place. You know, so I think that's where we do a good job pulling all those strings together, and it's owed to the vendors, the cosplayers, the attendees, because without you guys, we would be nothing, you know, and we know that, and that will never lose sight, you know, of that, because vendors don't have that. I don't have a venue, you know, unless I just want to go and blow 15, $20,000 every week, you know, and I don't have it like that.
Right, right. Well, you say you think you do a good job. I think you do an absolutely amazing job. I think you do fantastic. You guys are just absolutely the bee's knees is the best way I can put it.
That's
Um,
cool, man.
Now, yeah, borrowing from my children.
No, you're good,
With that
brother.
being said, I will see. I will see you in Hampton at Hampton Comic Con. We will be there. You know, we'll be doing our thing there, and I think for Blood and Water, I might have to break out the Horn Demon. He is locked up in the closet in the storage shed, but I might have to, just for old time's sakes, break him out so that I can do something. And I would be remiss if we didn't end this. And we're talking about cosplayers. Our own, you know, favorite cosplayer, Mr. Rob Ash. There he is, the squadron leader himself from Imperial Renegades. He is always at these events, always walking around. We call him the man of 1,000 cosplays. He's constantly changing cosplays. So, you know, Rob is the our cosplayer, is what we call him. He does everything, and even if we're having trouble getting the table open, Rob will run around and you know he'll do it for us. And I got your stuff ready for you, so we're thankful for him. But Calabus, I know we've kept Billy quite a long time. Billy, we appreciate your time.
No,
Is
I
there anything
appreciate
else you
you
want to close
guys.
us out with, sir?
Well, then I'm trying to get to Hampton Comic Con just to come see you guys. Of course, see Dak. Um, but again, guys, Monday through Friday, I do the walkthrough at Yester Toys Monday through Friday. I will be shouting it out and letting you guys know where to go. Blood in the Water is the next big thing. Come check it out. Be there with us. come wild out with us, because I'm telling you, the cosplayers, the vendors, the staff, the atmosphere is where you want to go. Let's forget about what's going on for 48 hours. Let's leave all that outside, come to a convention, enjoy your fandom, and just be a fan. That's all we're asking. Just come be a fan. Even if you can't afford to get your autograph or whatever else, the atmosphere will do you good. Come in, get a ticket, walk around, talk to people, network, because this is your fandom and you can only get out of it what you put into it.
Very well said, my sir. And I will tell you, um, come in, join our family. That's all I can say. Not only is it just your fandom, but join our family, because we are a family there. It's all it is. We're just a bunch of nerds and family hanging out, having a great time. And if you want great deals, you'll get great deals all around. If you stay for the after party stuff, I'm sure myself and Calibus included will have a bottle for you to come and enjoy a libation or two
Yes,
on our
sir.
dime.
Yes, sir.
So
You know what? Keep the
thank
bourbon
you,
flowing.
Billy.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for everything. You are a light at the end of the tunnel for all of us. When we have bad days, we have something to look forward to with these conventions. So you are our light at the end of the tunnel, and we look forward to shining brightly with you.
No, I appreciate you guys for having me on the show. Um, appreciate all the promotions. Like Calibus, I saw you last year. I was like, "What's the first thing I said to you?"
No, I you post. Thank you for posting, because I always post.
Yes, you post all the time. You share everything. Big L shares everything. I appreciate that deeply. That's more than anything. So thank you. That helps us grow, maybe a different audience. Um, Again, yeah, just give us a chance. March 28th, 29th, the Wyndham Garden Hotel, downtown Norfolk. Free parking. Come see some celebrities. And it doesn't cost anything to speak to a celebrity. A lot of people don't know that. So if you're new to a con, it doesn't cost you anything. Just time and manner. If they got 5, 6 people in line, might want to just hang out so there you have a spot. But everybody I've worked with and everybody I talk to, I never seen an issue with them, asking a question or you want to talk about a movie. They have no issues or quarrels doing that. So, don't think that you just have to buy an autograph. They will talk to you, they will engage with you. And same thing with vendors. Even if you don't buy nothing, they like shooting the shit and just
Yes, we
talking
do.
to you guys and figuring out what you like. Again, we're all a big community, a big family. And we hope to see everybody out there March 28th and March 29th. Tickets are available now. So anybody want to get their tickets, any vendors listening, I still have some vendor space available. Um, so I know I have a lot of last minutes. There's been like 4 or 5 vendors like, hey, I'll get you in the next week or two. Got you. But we're starting to get that kind of filled up. So um, if anybody needs anything from us, I'm always readily
Absolutely,
available to
100%.
everybody for the most part through email or contact us through the website. But thank
100%.
you
Well,
guys.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we
Well,
definitely
everyone,
appreciate you coming.
absolutely. This has been the return of the Echo Chamber 2026. Calibus Rand, my main man, my ops manager, the guy behind everything. Sir, I appreciate you every single day and the things that you shout out. Echo Chamber is the future of geek fandoms. So, with that being said, we'll see you on the flip side. Be kind to everyone. Take care.